All right, so in today's live training, we are going to be doing an overview of leads to ROI. And specifically, I'm going to touch on some of the main functionality that I feel that everybody who's using our system should know. So starting out, I'm going to jump into the conversations tab. We're going to show the different functions with that. Then we're going to move on to the contact and smart list, and we're going to show all the functions that you can use in the contact and smart list section, how to create your own smart lists, and then we're going to move on to the pipeline functionalities. Okay, so we're going to show how you can drag and drop leads for the direct mail options, and you've got the lead in stages, then the replied stages, and then appointment stages, and so on and so forth. Then I'm going to move on to reputation management. And that way everybody can look at their settings to make sure that they have everything set up the way that they want it. And then I'm going to show how simple it is for you to be able to send those out. And that's also going to tie in with the contact and smart list, because I think it'll be important that if you guys do want to take advantage of the reputation management, that you will take a CSV of all of your past clients, import those, then create a smart list of those leads, or of those past clients, I should say. They're not leads. And then send out your review requests to them. Okay, so that's going to tie in with that. And then lastly, I'm going to end it on workflows, and I'm going to show all the functionalities in the workflows and show you guys how you can, add video to your texting, and video to your emails, and voicemail drops, and all of those things. And then if I need some more fill time, the other thought I had was I could also switch over to my phone and actually show the mobile app and show some of the functionality there, because I do think it would be important for you guys to really dig in there and start utilizing the manual actions so you can auto dial through all your leads each day. Okay, so let's start out jumping into the conversations tab. And Jim, are you there? See, you're on here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Is it okay if I use your account in the share today?
Yep.
All righty, thank you, sir.
No problem.
So let's jump on into the conversations tab. And right in here, you're going to see the unread tab. Okay, so we've got unread, we've got recents, we've got all. Okay, so the unread tab is something that is going to always be important, that you stay up to date and you are either archiving or marking as read, or just straight up deleting, so that your unread folder stays clean, and that way you're not missing somebody that you feel is important, right? So we've got people in here that are, saying no, right? Just looking, no. So you've read that message. You don't want to delete that message, right? You don't want to delete this contact. So I'm just going to click mark as read. And that's going to pull them out of the unread messages tab. Okay. And so what I would do if it were me is I would make sure that I'm getting rid of all of the people that are in here saying stop, right? We've got somebody that says stop. So I can do two things. Number one, I want to click on the DND. And if you click the configure button, we can then select the DND all channels. Now, you can see right here that the text messaging is already blocked out. And our system, since Twilio has done an update,
Clicking the light.
is what?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay, so the Twilio actually has done an update to help with spam issues. And so basically what they've done for the agency and the end user, you guys, is they've made it so that people have the option to unsubscribe automatically. So it's actually asked to them via text, and it says if you would like to unsubscribe, click here or say stop or say no, whatever that function is. I can't remember exactly the second. I think it's either stop or something along those lines, and that will automatically unsubscribe them. And so you can see that that's set right here. Now, if you want to keep their emails going, you can leave that. If you want to leave calls and voicemails, you can do that. If you do check if you check DND all channels, that's obviously going to stop all future contact. Okay. And if you are on the ISA package, it's important to know that if you are setting a DND status to a contact, I would also add a tag, agent contact made, or excuse me. No, actually, Brian, are you there?
Hey, what's going on, Willie?
Hey, we did make it so that if they turn on DND, it automatically does that in the ISA account. Is that correct?
So
Or
what
is
they
it-
have to add is an actual tag to it.
Yes.
So
So
it's a tag that's added to the contact. It's agent contact made.
Yes. So if you put agent contact made tag, it's going to automatically turn the DND on inside of our ISA account. So that is also important to note if you're on the ISA account. But DND is something you can absolutely use for contacts who don't want to deal with messaging anymore. And so staying up to date in your contact section or your conversation section is important. Make it so that you've got just the positive intent people left over in here. That way, you know, you've got somebody maybe from 3 months ago that you should have stayed up to date with, but they got lost in the messages, right? So this will be a nice way for you to stay up to date with that. We've got Brooke Steers says a year. We've got Tammy, she says stop. So I'm going to get rid of Tammy. So that is the unread section. Then we've got the recents. Okay. And then we've got all. So you can see here, there are filters, there's all chats, and then there's my chats. So my chats is probably going to be like the messaging that you do with Facebook Messenger and things like that. You can also click here to send a new message if you want to do something quick, and all you would need to do is type in a customer's name and then you can select that. But if you're already on a contact record and you're reading a message from them in the unread section, you can see down here at the bottom, we have the SMS and email functionality, right? So in here, I can very simply send out an SMS, or I can very easily send out an email. If you are signed up with us, then we have hosted email. And so you can put whatever email here you want to have it sent from. Okay, so you can actually put in your personal email in here, and it's going to say that it's sent via your email. Okay. Now in the email builder, we have some different functionality in here, just like most email builders would. You can insert hyperlinks. You can add images. You can add text color, background colors. So the email builder has gotten pretty nice. And there was actually just some updates done in the marketing tab as well for the full HTML builder. They've been putting a lot of work in on that, and it looks great. And possibly we'll do that in a different training another day.
Question,
Yes.
Williette, what does the trigger links do for you?
What do the trigger links do?
Yeah.
So trigger links, that is something that we would have to get into for a little while, but basically you can send out a link to somebody and you can actually track all of the data from it. So you can put these links inside of text messages and emails, and then you're able to actually track different actions and trigger events based on when that link is clicked. So you can put a link inside of a text message. If they click that, you can then have a workflow actually trigger automatically because they clicked that link, right? So in that workflow, you could then automatically send out video inside of a text message. You can send voicemail drops. You can do a whole lot of different things, and tracking with this is great. So that is something that I think would be a great training to do in the future. Maybe we'll add in trigger links and the email builder. Basically what Brian and I plan on doing is having like a few-part series on leads to ROI. So I think that would be good to dive into. There's tons and tons of content in this platform for you guys to stay focused on. So jumping, yeah, absolutely. Jumping back over here into the conversations tab, there's the SMS and emails. The last thing that I wanted to show you in the email builder is the custom values. Okay. And so most of you guys know what the custom values are. It allows you to add in like the contact's first name, right? So if I'm sending out a mass email to a ton of people, I can select the contact first name custom value, and it's automatically going to pull that first name for each individual contact record in the system. Some of the cool ones is that you can do it for like address. So if you've got seller leads from My Plus Leads, you could do that. Hey, I just noticed your home at 123 Main Street. It's going to put that custom value for their address in there. You can ask people, hey, is this your correct email? This is the email that I have on file for you. I'm just wondering if this is correct. So you can put the contact email. You can put in like your appointment start date times. You can put in your calendar information. And then also we have custom values and custom fields, right? So there's custom fields on each individual contact that you could load in if you really wanted to get tricky, but that's kind of more in-depth stuff. So that's going to be the main functionality. We have some other functions in here, but you guys don't really need them. One that you can do is, number one, you can attach a file right down here at the bottom in the email builder. And in the SMS, you can also do your custom fields and custom values. And you can also add attachments right here, as well as some emojis. If you want to add some emojis in your messages, you can. But the other one right here in the email builder is you can use templates. Okay, so if you want to go in and create your own templates that you're going to use consistently, then you can create your own templates in the system. And then all you have to do is just select from those templates. Okay. So make things easier. It's like your autoresponder on your text messages, right? If your iPhone, you can click a button to send somebody, hey, sorry, I'm on the phone right now. Can we talk later? Right? It's kind of like an autoresponder. So that's what I wanted to go over with the conversations tab. Make sure you stay up to date with that. You can also see here are the text messages on the right-hand side. And then we've got the emails on the left-hand side. you click the three dots, you're able to see your emails that are going out. Make sure that all of your custom fields and everything look right. And marking as read or deleting leads. If you need to, you can add tags or edit contact records. You can also add campaigns or workflows right here, and you can edit their pipeline stages as well right here. Okay, so that's the conversations tab. The next section I want to jump into is the contact section. Now, before I move into that, anybody have any other questions before I move on? Looking good? Okay, awesome. So contact and smart list tab. So kind of just like KV Core, in the sense that you can create your own smart lists, and our system is based off of a tagging system. Okay, we we pull everything into our system with tags. Okay, we do that from listings to leads. We do it from My Plus leads. We do it from our Facebook ads. We do it from pretty much everything that we can, because tags are a great trigger that we're able to use to have our workflows and your workflows all work flawlessly. Okay. So getting used to tags is something that will benefit you, and it will allow you to create your own smart lists in the system. If you don't have any smart lists, I would create building some. And you can see right here for Jim, he's got a buyer lead smart list. Okay. If anybody wants to know the kind of guideline for the tags, the main tag that we use for buyer leads is going to be buyer lead dash in. Okay, so you can see it right here on the screen, buyer lead dash in. So that is what we use for all of our buyer leads. Seller leads, it's going to be seller lead dash in. If you are on the ISA program, you're going to see the lead to ISA tag right here as well. And any ads that you usually run through listings to leads, there's also going to be a number of tags that listings to leads pulls in. The main one is going to be SPW follow this home. Okay. And normally listings to leads will also pull in the address of that actual listing. So that way you can determine where those leads are coming from, which ad, right? Because a lot of people are running multiple ads through their listings to leads. This is how you can organize your leads and know where they're coming from. Okay. But we've got a full list of buyer leads right here. And so now you can select all 564 buyer leads all in one. Okay. Now let's show how to create the smart list. Okay. So number one, you want to be under the all tab. Okay. You don't want to be under a different smart list. For example, if that's what you're on, you can mess up the smart list that you currently have. So when you're under the all tab, you want to click this button over on the right-hand side that says more filters. Okay. And in here, all you want to do is select the tag column. And once you've got that, you can then select what tag you want. Okay. So we're going to scroll down, and you can see here we've got different hashtags created for beds, baths, and price range. We've got different addresses. We've got FSBOs. We've got withdrawns. So we're going to select the buyer lead dash in tag, or actually I'm going to do seller lead dash in since he doesn't have one of those. Okay. So seller lead dash in, it's going to show all sellers. And there we go. We've got 13 different seller leads here in the system. And you can see that now that's all leads that came from a home valuation ad. Okay. Now, if I wanted to instead make this a FSBO list, I would then delete this tag. I would then scroll down to FSBOs, and then I would click apply. Now, when you're done, okay, I want this list to be finalized. I want to click the button at the bottom right here that says save as smart list. Okay. And this is going to pull open a box for you to put your name for what you want to call this smart list. All you have to do after that is click save and you are done. Now you can select any one of these and it's automatically going to pull that open. Okay. Looks like we've got a glitch from that. So I'm just going to create a FSBO smart list for him. Let's go ahead and delete that one. And now I'm going to create a FSBO smart list.
Thanks.
Yep, no worries. So I've selected FSBO. Now I want to save as a smart list, FSBO. Okay, so now we've got the FSBOs. Now, let's say I want to take this one step further, right? Because we know that My Plus Leads, the way that we've got all of this functionality set up is we actually capture all of the data like the bedrooms, bathrooms, the price range, the address of the home. There's a whole bunch of data that we're able to get from My Plus Leads for the FSBOs, canceled, expireds, withdrawns, right? So if I want to, let's say, see the address, I can now select columns. And if I select address full, now we've got the address for that FSBO, okay? And so I want to make sure now that I've selected that column, I have to save it too. So I'm going to click filters and I'm going to click save again. So now that's going to automatically save every single time. You'll be able to see the address for that FSBO and be able to search that home very quickly. For me, I have dual monitors, so I can just have another tab open on my other screen and type in that address real quick. So when you're, for example, looking up canceleds or expireds to see if they're still active on the MLS, this is a great way to have your smart list set so that you can very quickly just go down the line and check each canceled listing or expired listing that came in and see if it's active on the market. If it's not, you know you're good to go. If it is, go ahead and turn that DND switch on. And then when you set up your auto dialer, it's not going to call that lead, okay? So, anybody have any questions about creating a smart list? All right. So it looks like we've got a good price point here. Oh, excuse me, I was doing that under the All tab. So let me go back into FSBOs here and go under columns. And so right here, excuse me, I can select the bedrooms, the bathrooms tab, and then scroll down and select the price tab. Okay, so now we've got the address, we've got the bedrooms, bathrooms, and price all together in one column. Easy to view. Okay, I'm going to click more filters. I'm going to save that one more time. And because I'm doing this, I'm actually going to make this a global smart list for Jim SVA to be able to view. Okay, that's something that I need to do. If you're doing one on your end, don't worry about it. Okay, so that is editing your columns and creating a smart list. Let's also go over some of the functionality here with these buttons up here at the top. Okay, so number one, we've got the ability to add a contact. That's pretty simple. Just adding in their name, email, phone number, their contact type, whether they're a current client or if they're a potential lead. Time zone has now been added to each individual contact so that hopefully it'll stop any issues with appointment times and things like that. And then you can also select DND for any of those channels. Okay. Then we've got a pipeline change. So this column is extremely important in my mind for if you are utilizing the voicemail drop features in our pipelines, or if you're utilizing sending out postcards to any of those people. Let's say that you have an expired campaign that's built inside of your mailbox power, right? We've got the connection done to your pipelines, and all you have to do, let's just jump into the pipelines real quick. So all you have to do is drag and drop one of those leads into the postcard campaign tab, right? So Richard Manna, you can drag and drop, and that's going to send him a postcard. Okay. Now, if you want to do this at a mass scale and you want to sit down and take 20 minutes and you want to do it for all of your cancels, right? So let's do it for all the cancels real quick. So I'm going to come in here under all, and I'm going to go to more filters and tags, and I'm going to select the canceled tag, and I'm going to apply that. Okay. So now I'm going to select columns, and I'm going to pull the address, and I'm going to pull the price range, let's say. Okay. So now I'm going to save this as a smart list. I'm going to call this canceled. There we go. Now we've got 206 records. We've got the price point of the home, and we've got the address. So now I can very quickly search for the address on the MLS or however you guys want to do it and determine, okay, I just checked Jason. I want to send a postcard to Jason. I don't want to send one to Nancy, but I want to send one to Van and Adam and Frank. Now I've got 4 different people that I know that I want to send out a postcard to. And this is where the pipeline change is going to come into play. Yes, you can do it in the opportunities tab where you can just drag and drop one by one. Let's say if you've got just 1 or 2 people that you want to move over, it's very simple to do it through the pipeline section. But if you want to do a mass change, and you're doing it for your whole day or maybe the week, this is a great way to be able to use that functionality. And Sue, I'll answer your question here in 1 second. I just want to finish showing how this section works. So when you click on the button for the pipeline change, you'll now click from the drop down. And number 1, you're going to select the pipeline. Okay. Number 2, you're going to select the stage in the pipeline that you want to send it to. So all of these are canceled leads. And if I just want to send them a voicemail drop, then I would put it in the first voicemail drop section. If I want to send them a voicemail and send them a postcard, I would then select that pipeline stage. You don't need to edit the opportunity name or source, but you do need to put in an action. So a description down at the bottom, that's just for the tracking report. Okay. So those are the 3 main fields that you need to edit. You just need to put in here what the function is. And then you would click the button to add/update opportunity. That's going to automatically move each lead into that pipeline stage. Okay. So I'm not going to do that because I don't know if Jim has something set up. Sue, you've got a question.
2 questions. One is when you had that up there with the pipeline, so the pipeline had multiple stages, right? And then you just picked. Okay. And then second question is, let's say you send these people out postcards, and then all of a sudden the next day, Jim sees that Jason listed his home. can you undo, like, if his, I assume his mailbox power would have a few different postcards being sent to him. So how would you stop any more postcards from going to Jason's house? I mean, the first one was already sent, but now you want to stop any further ones.
Yeah, so you would have to go into mailbox power and actually remove that person from the campaign, from the automation. If you'd like, I can actually show you how real quick. We can jump into mailbox power.
Well, I just wanted to verify, so I understood. Thanks.
Absolutely. Let's do that though. Let's jump into someone's
When
account
mine, you
here.
can remove yourself.
I can remove myself. Okay. Sounds great.
I've been meaning to, I just haven't had a chance.
Hey, I've still yet to get a postcard. What's up with
I don't think there's an address.
that? Okay, do you know which automation it is?
Let's see, you're William Test, Bellevue, Washington. Let me
So
see.
I'll just go into contacts here.
I got the card returned to me. That's why you didn't get it.
So I don't see a
So,
William. Hess.
FISBO for sale by owner.
Yeah, I'm not. So I just searched William. No Willie.
Maybe Johanna removed you, possibly.
She may have, yeah.
Okay.
So you can either just delete the contact in here, but if you have somebody who lists their home and you want to remove them, basically you would go to whatever automation that they would be tied to, right? So if it's a FISBO lead, they're tied to the FISBO automation. So I would come in here and I would click Manage Recipients. And in here, let's maybe go to this one. So right here under this enrolled contacts is where the FISBO leads would actually be sitting, okay? And basically you would just click the button to, like it says unenroll right here, you can remove the person right there as well under the automation. Okay. Who else, anybody else have a question?
Yeah, I got one, William. Has more to do with the contacts and the communication. How do we turn off? Because I get a lot of like spam text messages and things like that, and it seems like I'm going through the contact list and deleting people because once I delete them on my phone, obviously they're coming through here. So I spend a lot of time going back, deleting, BS messages and stuff that's getting sent over.
Okay, so when you say spam, are you talking like
Just like
actual-
random, anything that's sent to my phone, like solicitors, insurance, whatever. They get them all day long.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're put in
Warranty, basically.
yeah, so they're in the system now. So I have to go back and delete each one of them. And it just seems like I'm spending hours going through here deleting everybody.
Dang.
Is there a way just to
There's
turn
an
off the
option to
send?
fix that, Willie. Just to let you know. For the people that are spamming, if you open up the conversation and then you click on their number, it gives you the option to block that incoming number. Because
Okay,
D&D
so-
will block your outgoing, but you can block through the conversation. Click on their number and it'll give you an option to block that number.
Yeah, so a lot of the ones in my
They don't have
contact,
numbers.
they don't have numbers.
Nope, they don't. So you just, I think I've done it myself. Matter of fact, I went in and cleaned this up. I had 40 or 50 yesterday and I spent an hour and 20 minutes cleaning them up. Just basically deleting them out.
Yep.
They
Is
come
there a way
through
to turn off
on,
the Sims?
they come through on Messenger and, yeah, Messenger is where they come in on.
Yep.
Interesting. Are you getting a lot from Messenger as well? Or are yours mainly random text messages? And I
No,
guess what
mine are text and messenger. So
okay. Okay, so why don't you and I just have a one-on-one session
Okay.
and I can dive into that and we'll figure out the best solution for you. Okay.
Cool beans. Yeah, we can just turn them
Know
off.
what it
That'd be
is.
fine.
I can disconnect the Facebook connection if it's that annoying. If it's your actual smart number that is getting spam nonstop, we could look at just changing the number for you.
Okay.
There's a couple things we could look at. So,
All right, I'll get with you.
okay, sounds great. All right. So, the next section. So that's how you can very easily move all of your leads to either send out a voicemail drop or send out postcards to them. Okay. Great little function there. And when you're talking about utilizing your time, to the best, right? This is a nice way so that you can sit down. It only takes you 30 minutes. You select all the people you want to send postcards to. You click one button and it's done. Have a nice day, right? The next tool that we have is adding people to a campaign or workflow. Okay. So if you want to add somebody to a workflow, or if you want to add multiple people to a workflow, you would click this button right here, the little robot head, and then okay, proceed. And from here, you can then select either campaigns that are in the system or any of the workflows that we've also got created here in the system. Okay. Now, if, for example, you guys have created your own workflows, this is something that you can take advantage of, right? If you want to create your own weekly newsletter that you add the higher intent people to, you can go ahead and do that. You can build out a workflow that has your nice emails in it. You can do a whole lot of things. Okay. So, and then also, for example, if let's say you want to add somebody into any of the manual call campaigns, right? So this is where the mobile app comes into play. We have 4 campaigns currently that are created for the manual call features, the auto dial features through the mobile app. Okay. So if you want to add a buyer lead into the buyer manual call, you can do that by clicking here. Same with canceled, expired, or withdrawns. Those all go into one. Then we've got the FSBOs separated and we've got seller leads separated into their own. Okay. Now, again, if they have the tag canceled, if they have the tag buyer lead dash in or seller lead dash in, etc., those leads are automatically going to get added into those campaigns anyways. So when you're doing that, you would want to make sure that it's somebody a contact maybe you just personally added to the system. Maybe you've got a referral or something like that and you want to add them in. Okay. That would be when I'd use a manual call feature. So add people to a campaign or workflow. I guess the other function that I do want to show you. So let's say you created your own email, right? You sent out, you've got your own workflow that you want to add people to, the 20 days Facebook seller text campaign. And you've got, or actually better yet, let's go with the reactivation campaign. Okay, so let's say I've got a database and I want to send out messaging to 300 people, right? If you're sending out messaging to that many people, you don't send them all at once. It's very important for us that you don't do it, and it's more important for you that you don't do it. The reason is if you send over 50 messages all at once, it's very high risk for spam. You can get your phone number flagged. You can get your mail gun account with us, your emails essentially can get flagged as spam, and it won't work too well. So the minimum that you should do is 49. Okay, so right here, there's this little button that says add in drip mode. So let's check that little bubble. And you're gonna see all the functions here now pop up. So number one, we've got to add in a description. So reactivation is what I'm gonna call this. I can choose the start time and I can go today's date. If I want to do it right now, I can schedule out for Saturday. If I want to have it start on Saturday at noon, right? 12:45 p.m. There we go. And then I want to do batch quantity is going to be 49. Okay. So that's the amount that I want to send out is 49 for the batch quantity. Now you can repeat after 2 minutes, let's say. Okay, so every 2 minutes, it's going to send out 49 messages. If you want to change that and you want to make it a little more spread out, maybe you feel that you're actually going to have a high response because of the list that you have, then you could spread this out to every 10 minutes. Okay. And then, you know, you've at least got 10 minutes to be able to respond to people that are responding. So think about the time adjustments when you're doing that. You can also change the times and days that you want to send out the messaging. And you can see here, we can say, I only want to send these messages from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. So when you're doing a large blast to a database, for example, you definitely want to put in some time restraints because, you know, sending out 49 to a list of 5,000, that's going to go on for it could go on for a couple hours, right? And so you don't want to be sending people messages at midnight, and you don't want to be receiving messages at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, right?
Hey, Willie, and
Nothing-
also the its average limit is 200 per hour, or they get labeled as possible spam and their messages might get blocked. So 200 messages per hour is the benchmark. Don't go over that if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Colin. Okay. So that is adding people to campaign or workflow. We then have sending out a simple SMS, right? So same thing, just like adding people to a campaign. You know, you send out a whole message. This is my message, right? If you want to send out to a lot of people, let's say I want to send out to all 206 canceled. I want to send out a message. Well, I got to make sure that it's going to be sent in drip mode. And I'll type my message in there. Maybe I'll add in a custom a merge field for the contact's first name. I was wondering if their full address is still off market, right? Then we put our description, we put our start date and time. We put the batch quantity, minimum of 49 at a time. We put our repeat time every 2 minutes, let's say, Monday through Friday. There we go. Now we can send out the SMS. Again, if you create your own templates, you can just select that template very quickly. Okay. So if you want to start using templates, it's always a great idea. Then you would just click send that SMS. Same thing goes for sending out the mass email. Okay. Here we go. We can add in whatever functions we want. We can select templates if we want. We can add in trigger links like Sue was talking about and send out a great email blast.
And the
Then
spam
we have-
threshold is, don't forget on the email, 500 sent is the max. No more than 2 pictures and 3 hyperlinks. Any more than that, it could send it to spam. by the carrier.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. And we've got adding tags and removing tags. Okay. So this is probably an important one if you've got somebody that's high intent. Let's say you want to create your own smart list for high intent. So I would then create a tag that's called high intent, and I would add that tag to anybody that I wanted to add to my smart list, right? So then I could go in and I could create my own smart list for just high intent people and make sure that I'm staying up to date with those people regularly, okay? Then we've got removing tags, okay? That speaks for itself as well. If you need to remove a tag from somebody, you can do so. We've got deleting contacts here. And then here's one that I wanted to show you guys is sending out review requests. Okay. So I'll dive into that here next, actually. So it'll kind of tie together. But sending out review requests, you can basically create your own smart list of your past clients. So right here is the export button, and right here is the import button. So if I wanted to import a CSV of all of my past clients, all I need is their name, phone number, email. And if you want to put in their address, you could. But basically, you just need the contact methods there, either a phone number or an email and their name. Okay. And with that, we can then select this person or multiple people and send a review request. Now, in here, we can select whether we want to send a text message request or whether we want to send an email review request. Okay, so you would select that option. Again, if you're sending out to a ton of past clients, send in drip mode. If you're not, just send it regular and then add in your description. And I would actually say something like past client reviews. Okay, so the Google My Business reputation management software that we have integrated is an awesome tool. And if you guys aren't utilizing it and you're not building your Google reviews, I would seriously suggest start taking advantage of it. Okay. It makes getting your reviews grow so simple. It's really so simple. And so to jump into that, number one, let's jump into the reputation section. I guess the last thing that I'll show you before I move into that is right here, you can also merge contact records together. Okay, so if you get a lead that submits their information twice, maybe you have a duplicate contact record, you would just select the two that you want to merge. You would click the merge button. And then right here, you can select what contact records you want to keep for that, right? So we've got notes for those leads. We've got a whole bunch of different data here that it's going to pull. You select which ones you want, which ones you don't want, and it'll merge that file right down here at the bottom. Okay. So now let's jump into the reputation section. So right here in the left-hand bar, we have the reputation tab. You click on that and it's going to show you your different reviews. Okay. It's going to show your average rating. It's going to show trends. It's going to show invite goals. It's going to show you the actual reviews that you've received, whether it's from Facebook or whether it's from Google. Okay. And then it's going to show you who you sent out a review to the last, and it's going to show you some of your other reviews on the system. Unfortunately, I've been seeing a lot of business pages get these spam reviews. We have like 2 or 3 on our Facebook business page. I've seen tons of clients that have had it as well. If you need to, or if you'd like to, go onto your business page, click on the reviews tab, and you can actually report that And I believe now they've actually made it so you can hide that. I might be incorrect, but I feel like I just saw the other day that you can actually hide that review. Don't quote me on it though. Anyways, so here's where you can see all of your reviews. Now, with this button right here, you can send out a review request. Up here at the top, this little lightning bolt, no matter what page you're on in the system, you can also click here for quick action, okay? And these quick actions have 4 different functions. Number 1, you can add a contact. Number 2, you can book yourself an appointment with whatever contact you want. Number 3, you can send out a review request, okay? And number 4, you can create an opportunity as far as your pipelines go. Okay.
Hey, Will, I think Frank's got his hand up. He's got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Frank. You there, Frank?
Frank, your microphone is muted, but if you're trying to answer a question or ask a question.
All right, well, gonna keep moving. Go ahead and just talk. If you get your mic unmuted and you want to ask a question, Frank, go ahead and just ask, okay? Okay, so we've got the send a review request here. Those are the quick actions. Nice little function there if you need it. What I want to jump into now is the settings tab. Okay, so if you click into settings, I want to show you guys where you can edit what you're saying in the actual review requests. Okay, so we automatically load in our own reputation management question, right? Where we're trying to get people to give you guys a review. Now, if you guys want to edit and make your own and make it personalized, please do. Okay, we just automatically load this in so that you guys have something in there. Brian and his team at Zillow actually created this. I believe Brian took the lead in creating this for Zillow. And so it is a nice little message here, but personalization is always a great thing to do. Okay, now, number 1, you can add the individual message. Number 2, you can actually add an image. So with this, I would suggest either putting your photo of you, right? People are going to automatically resonate, see it's you, and that's going to then make it so that they at least read what you have to say. Okay, you can either put a picture of you or you can put a logo. Okay, so however you want to do that, that's fine. Then put your message in there for what you want to say, and that will make it so that every time you click this quick action to send a review request and you type in someone's name, it's going to automatically send them a photo of you, and it's going to send out that message. Now, down below, we also have the editing for the email. Okay. And so in here, you can see that you've got the logo up here. You've got the Google My Business ranking for all of your stars. And then we've got the messaging here for what you're saying. Okay. And so all they have to do is click that green button, and basically it's going to automatically. So here's the link that it's going to drive them to, by the way. It's going to automatically take them right here, and it's going to pop up this for as simple as can be. Okay, sorry, my internet connection just cut out there for a second, but here we go. It drives us directly to leaving a review and leaving the details of our experience. We can also leave any photos that we want. Okay, so we can see that's Jim's EXP Google My Business page right there. Okay.
And hey, Willie, just as a quick thing, why don't you have everybody in the group email this link to themselves so everybody can get one view right now? Or just share it through the channel. They can take their link, post in the chat, and everybody can get a 6 or 7 or 8 reviews real quick.
No, we're not going to do that. And the reason being is that Google actually is very specific with their tracking. So it's a great idea. I would love it, but Google is very specific with where those reviews come from. And that is one reason why when you're doing reviews, I wouldn't really suggest doing a large bulk of them. I would just do a couple at a time, okay? Because in some cases, getting, 40 reviews in a single day might look a little sketchy to Google. So doing a few here and there as time goes on, maybe get 4 or 5 a day. That's great. That's great. That's what you want to do. But the main thing is going to be that Google has geofarm tracking, right? I mean, literally every single one of us has a geolocation that Google tracks, right? And so if it seems a little strange to Google, they're going to automatically flag it, and then you won't get that review. So yeah, great. Definitely a great idea. And it very well could work, but I think that the safer side is better for this because we don't want to get somebody's account disabled for that.
Oh yeah, and obviously they want to send it to their closed transactions, but they can also send them to their friends and family. We have many new realtors that they'll get 15 to 20 reviews more than most brokers have in 10 years by making sure they send it to their family as well.
Absolutely. And also if you're doing, like Google local service ads or something along those lines, or any Google ads, you got to have some reviews on there. Okay. It's extremely important for you to be able to stand out ahead of all the other people that you're doing. So, and then the last thing I want to show here is you can actually now set a custom schedule for sending out review requests. So if you want to set your own schedule, you could. I don't think that's that important personally though. But let's also look down here at the bottom. So this section is actually what the review widget looks like. So for example, if anybody decides that they want to use our IDX integration, the websites that we have that we're just about finished with rolling out, you can actually post the review, the customer testimonials. You can load that on any of your funnels, right? So if you're running an ad and you're driving people to a landing page or a funnel, you can load this on it, and you can actually change the color scheme for what you want. So that looks great, and you can make it actually sync up with your color code for your business.
That review has nothing to do with real estate.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, that's what I was talking about when I said that Facebook people are getting scam reviews nonstop about trading. Oh, she is so trustworthy and I've made so much money from crypto trading. Like it's ridiculous. But so this is the reputation section. I would suggest coming in here and number one, check your link, make sure that everything's good there. If for example, if you change your password to your Google account, that will stop the sync. It'll stop the connection. Okay. So it's always good just to check your link and make sure that that works. And if it needs to be, you can click generate link and then click save, and that'll automatically resync everything again. We do check that for you guys after you sign up and you do your initial connections. But if you do change your password to Google and something disconnects, you might need to do it again. Okay. So it's always good to test. and always good to come in and edit your and personalize. Okay. So, last section that I was going to jump into is the automations tab. And
Really?
what's that?
Real quick, do you know how to get that review removed?
So, yes and no. So you can go in onto Facebook and go to your business page as the admin, and you can flag it as spam or harassment or hate speech. It's not like a for sure that it's going to get removed.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
But that's what I would suggest. And I do feel that just a couple days ago, I was trying to do that same thing for someone. And I believe I was able to actually hide that review. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure I remember I was able to hide that review. So go and check. Maybe it was just specific for that account or something. I don't know. But I think as the admin, you might be able to do that now on Facebook. Okay.
All right, cool, thanks.
Yep, absolutely. So last section is workflows. Okay. There's a lot of different functions with the workflow builder. We could go on and on for a long time in here. I'm going to just do a quick breeze through it, and I'm going to allow you guys to ask whatever questions you want. Okay. So number one, we've already got a lot of folders and things created here in the system for you. There's a lot of system workflows and things that make everything run in the background, right? So we've got our workflows for buyer leads that automatically trigger. We've got our workflows for seller leads automatically trigger. If you're on the ISA account, there's workflows that automatically pull the lead out of your account and spit it out into the ISA account. Adding leads to pipeline stages and updating contact records and all that good stuff. So let's come in here. Let's click create workflow, like we're going to create a new workflow. And let's just take a look at some of these different recipes that we've got. Okay, so let's actually, you know what, this will tie in with the review request. Let's take a look at this recipe for sending out a review request. So let's create a new workflow. And so we can see here that there are 3 triggers that are in here. So number one, we've got a tag is added. We've got the opportunity is marked as 1. And we've got appointment marked as showed. Okay. So this top section right here in the gray little box, these are your triggers. Okay. So whatever is going to make this whole flow start. Right. And so if you click this box that says add a new workflow trigger, we are able to select a ton of different features in here. Okay. You can pretty much have anything in our system trigger. It's awesome, the amount of functionality that is here in the system. And you can see that the UI, I guess the look of everything has updated, even just a little bit, but it looks great in my opinion. So we've got contact options, right? So somebody's birthday reminder, we've got if contact was changed or if contact was created, right? So you can make it so that if any new lead came in, or if like we said, we run off of a tagging system. So if a tag is added for what was the client high intent, right? So if you created a high intent smart list and that was high intent people or past clients, let's do that. So past clients. So anytime that past client tag comes in, right, you add, if that way, if you add a list of people, this will automatically trigger and run. So there's an example of some of the things that you can do, right? Here's all the different options that you can select from, whether a note was added or a task was added. If a form was submitted from a funnel, or if a customer replied. So if somebody replies, I want to automatically send them something, right? So a lot of different things that you can do with the workflow triggers. And then in here, so this is sending out a review request via SMS. And you can see right here, it says you can configure the review request message in the reputation settings if you want. Then we've got to wait for 1 hour, and it sends out a review request via email then, if there's nothing back. Okay, so very simple. Let's take a look at how we add in a voicemail drop, right? So very simple. You click on the voicemail tab, and then you're going to want to click to upload a file. Now, you can see right here. Yes, Sue.
No, keep going. I want to ask you after you're done with your thought.
Okay, yep. So has to be either a WAV file or an MP3 file. And one of the things that I noticed with moving the pipeline stages, right? So you move somebody into the pipeline stage and it automatically sends out a voicemail drop. There actually had to be a 4-second delay of just blank space in that voicemail drop. So I guess one thing I would love if anybody would like to test, and we'll test it too, I'll add it to the books. I feel like it's going to be the same here in this workflow builder as well. Okay. So when I got that voicemail, I realized you have to add like a 4-second delay in there. So that's one thing to think about, guys. And I'll have my guys test that very quickly in a workflow so I can give you an answer on that. Sue, what were you going to ask?
So I'm sorry, your trigger thing just got me very mentally thinking. Could you set up a trigger? And again, I don't know if I'm talking about knowing what I'm talking about, but a trigger that if they don't click on the link for giving you the review, it would trigger more stages to happen versus they filled out the review and then now you got a voicemail drop and maybe they already reviewed you. It's just the thought that was going through my head.
Yeah. So let's go. Let's go with an if/else. You might be able to do an if/else option. So I'd have to spend a second kind of building that, but yeah, you can pretty much build out whatever you want. Let's see if I go into, let me find it here. I built out a workflow that runs based off of response of positive and negative intent, and okay, let me pull this over, guys. Here we go. So I've got a buyer list reactivation. So we've got right here, high contact first name. This is username, your fellow realtor. It's been a while since we spoke. The market has shifted so much and home values have skyrocketed. Here's a custom PDF explaining the home appraisal process, and it's important. Do you have any questions about the market and where you may fit in it? And right here, we've got the PDF for the home appraisals. Okay. So that's a great little SMS text. Then we've got the same thing in an email, and we've got the home appraisal PDF there, all unbranded. And then we've got a wait period. Wait until reply or 1 hour. Okay, so it waits for either the contact to respond or if an hour passes by. And so then we've got, did they reply within the hour? If they did, then was the reply positive? If the reply was positive, then we want to move on to the next steps. So great, I've got a few more PDFs if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the market. Did you find that useful? And then we've got the custom value for them to book an appointment on their calendar, right? So, and then if the reply was negative, then no worries, have a nice day, okay? And then we've got, no, they didn't reply within the hour. Then we send a second attempt. Just checking back in. Send out an email. We wait for the reply again. If we get a reply, great. Go to positive intent. If not, no worries. Have a nice day. So this just goes to show you how in depth you can really get with workflows to build something out that's truly personalized for whatever use case you're trying to build. Okay, it's awesome. You can wait for responses. You can run based off of positive, negative intent. You can have your AI chatbot booking an appointment for you. A lot of cool stuff that you can do with the workflow builder. Let's click here to send an SMS. And right in here is where we can add an attachment. Okay, so if I want to add an attachment with a little video, I can do that. I can send out a little GIF attachment or a video. I can add files through a website URL. And if you want to test anything ever, put in +1 and then your phone number. And then you can click send. And you can see how that might look on your phone. Okay, so I think testing your messages when you're adding a video clip or if you're adding in any images or anything like that is always extremely smart to do. Always test it first on yourself. Don't just go in blind and then blast out to 30 people. Okay, same goes with the voicemail drops. Same goes with any of the emails. Okay.
One thing I would recommend on this, Willie, I'm thinking about this after the fact, but when we have the reply that comes from them, essentially what's going to happen is if the intent is positive, they're immediately going to get that text message instantly, right after they send it. If the intent was positive, they're gonna get the response very, very quickly. So maybe we should add a 1-minute wait period after the yeses, just to make sure that once they respond to that text message, then we have a little bit of time before it sends out the next text, so it doesn't look like it's a bot that's sending it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I haven't pushed this live out to everybody yet, so
This is awesome though. I love this.
thank you. Appreciate it. This is what I built for Monica, actually. So I built out a buyer one and a seller one.
And you guys, you can also, Willie, could you do me a favor and just jump into the leads to ROI buyer or any of them? The only functionality I want to show them is that we can now move sections of the workflow. We can move actions from one place to another. So you can click the little 3 dots And you could do things like add a comment to it so that you can communicate with your internal team. So let's say if you guys actually brought on virtual assistants and you wanted virtual assistants to help you build out campaigns inside of your Leads to ROI, you guys could actually communicate back and forth through the comment section here in the workflow. None of your leads or your clients are going to see any of these comments. It's just an internal, hey, this is what I'd like to see, or let's test this for this period of time. Just updated this. That way you can stay in communication and keep things together. Also, you can move this from any portion to any portion of the workflow. So if you want to go in and say, hey, I really like the text messages that are in this campaign, but I've been running the same sequence for quite some time, and I'm looking at like a 40% rate of people responding. Let's actually see if we can increase that rate by moving some of these text messages around and do them in a different order. You can go ahead and go in, click the three dots, you can go to move, and then you can move the action, and you can move it to a different space in the workflow. Or you could go ahead and copy the action and copy everything that's behind it and go ahead and use that stuff as well. So super cool.
Yeah, and the move and copy functions are really great for the exact scenario that we were just showing on the other workflow, where you've got the positive and negative intent splits, right? Because otherwise you would have to literally rebuild that exact same follow-up for each yes, each no, and do it on both sides of that workflow all the way down. Okay. But instead you can just copy that and paste it over on the other side of that. Okay. So really great functions with the workflows. As Brian has shown in the past, for a lot of these, you can add in things like the Facebook custom audiences. Here we're actually updating and adding people to the specific pipeline stages, right? So a buyer lead comes in, it's not magic that adds them into the pipeline stage, it's the workflow that does it, right? And so if you don't have the workflow updating that person in the pipeline, then they're just going to kind of be in your contact and smart list. Okay. So if you are trying to do your own personalized thing, make sure you've got the pipeline, the opportunity section in your workflow to update that. Make sure you're assigning to you as a user. Okay. That's also extremely important. Let's look at some of these other things in here, right? You can literally
Also publish it live once it's saved and finished.
Yeah, that's also a really, really important thing. When you're done, make sure you click save twice. Okay. Another really great function in here is that you can literally create your own Facebook Messenger autoresponders. Okay. So if you're running an ad that sends people directly to send a message, right? There is an option on Facebook. You can build an ad that makes people, instead of submitting a lead form, you can make it so that they send a message. And that's how, a lot of people have chat bots. I can't remember the name of some of those chat bots, but basically you can do the same thing in here through workflows. You can build your own chat bot for Facebook Messenger. You can, let's look at what else we got here. We've got Google My Business messaging. Okay. We've already got a feature here in our system in the back end for you that automatically, it's a Google My Business missed call text back feature. Okay. So if you missed a phone call through Google My Business, we're automatically going to text that person back for you. That's important. You can add notes to these people. You can remove from all workflows if you want. You can send internal notifications, right? So if you have a lead come in from that specific section, you click send internal notification, and you can either select, I want a push notification, or I want to send an SMS to myself, or I want to send an email. Okay. Let's see a few of the others, and then we'll wrap it up for the day. We've got sending review requests, which we showed. We've got updating appointment statuses, adding tasks. I think this is a great one. Okay. If you've got like a high intent workflow that you're building, you can add a task that will automatically notify yourself that you have a task due, that you need to call someone. Okay. Maybe you really want to get yourself to start calling those FSBOs or those expireds. You can start adding a task to make it so that you get push notifications on your mobile app saying, hey, quit slacking, call those FSBOs, call those expireds. Sue, you raised your hand.
Is there any way that the tasks could show up on your calendar? They do in KB Core, and I kind of like it because if you don't go in and look at your tasks for the day, you miss them. But I'm just asking.
I don't believe there is.
I think
All
we're gonna have to
tasks
circle back on that
Add
one.
to tasks by the user on the dashboard.
Yeah, I mean, you can see them on your dashboard, on the desktop version, and on the mobile app, you would see them.
But
At
But if I look at my calendar for the day, that's all I'm telling you is in the morning I get up, I have exercise routine, I take care of my mom, I look at my calendar. But if I don't look into the app, I don't see tasks. That's all I'm asking. And maybe
Yeah.
it's not, but KB Core does it. That's the only reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great feature. Unfortunately, we don't have that. Yep, unfortunately, we don't yet. We don't yet.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They
Last
made them
few things
1
here.
minute tasks. That's what I was just saying. They didn't even make them long. They made 1 minute on your calendar. So
Yep, yep.
Oh.
I mean, you might be able to figure out like a workflow that makes it so if an appointment is booked, that's your trigger. It then adds a task or adds, or excuse me, if a task is added, it would then add an
Well,
appointment.
William, you're on the
hey.
right track. Appointments no longer require contact. So she can actually use the appointment like a task. The other fields aren't required. She would just put in her task, the time, select her calendar, save. It wouldn't ask for any more info.
Yeah. Like I said, the functionality is endless with our system. So you very well
No, I
might
get
be
it,
able to
but-
build something.
But would the appointment send something to the person? That's the only thing is maybe I want a task that's gonna say, call so-and-so or follow up or whatever the task is. But I don't want them to get an appointment reminder that says Sue Steinman's gonna.
No, you can make yourself as a contact and just schedule the appointment on your own contact.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, awesome, thanks.
Yep.
That's what I do to keep up with my stuff.
Yeah, that might be worth a goof around on workflows. Try to figure something out. So we've also got the AI appointment booking bot option right here that will automatically try to book appointments for you for any lead that comes in. We've got some conditional options for the workflow builder. There's the if/else. There's wait periods. There's webhooks that you can then send to Zapier. There's go-to functions, right? So if you want to have like your workflow restart after it hits the bottom, you can have the go-to function. Once it hits the bottom, it will then automatically pull that contact record back to the start. And the last thing is math operations. Okay. You can do a whole bunch of cool stuff in the system. So that's what I got for you guys today. Any other questions? All right. Well, thanks for joining everybody. I personally recorded this one. So after it's done uploading to my email, I'll send that over to Brian and we'll hopefully get that loaded onto our YouTube channel probably tomorrow, realistically. So that way anybody can rewatch it if they want to. Okay.
It was great content. Is this the new training time? Just so I know.
This is the new training time moving forward. We are no longer going to be doing the Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be Wednesdays at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard. We'd like to be able to kind of give some solid content 1 day a week. That's what we're doing for now. We need to focus on our internal team, and we've got a lot of new people we're training and things like that. So we're trying to do our best for you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
All
Absolutely.
right. Thank you
And
everybody for joining.
Sue, William and I are actually going to take a look into that. I think we may be able to come up with a solution. I'm doing some research right now, so we'll find out if we can actually make that happen, because this would actually solve a couple of problems, because we'd be able to put anytime we try to do a warm transfer to you with a lead, we'd be able to actually add that to your calendar as a task for you to call when you weren't able to pick up or an agent wasn't able to pick up. So that would solve two
Yeah, that's
problems for us. So William and I will actually, we're going to dive into that. I think that's a really awesome suggestion, and thanks for bringing that up, Sue.
That is a great idea.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.